Welcome to The Real Raw, a place where we get to see and experience how influence is a superpower. The Real Raw offers us a chance to have a microphone, a stage, form ecosystems, make more money in less time with more magic, all with the use of the formula, which Sean Callaghy has been curating for over 23 years. Sean Callaghy is an entrepreneur, a national speaker, philanthropist, one of America's top trial attorneys, and is the chief visionary officer of Unblinded. And though he is blind, he is here to unblind us all in integrity through micro distinctions on how we can all go from hello to yes in any role we play in life. And leaders can influence leaders and make the world a more heart-centered and amazing place. And he happens to also be Batman. So welcome, Sean Callaghy.
Vivian, you're out of your mind. I am super grateful and super fun. So yes, as I mentioned a moment ago, tears have been flowing today. Vivian, everybody, thank you for being here. As dropped my daughter off for her freshman year as a wildcat at the University of New Hampshire, where, by the way, she's going to be engaged in animal studies. Wants to work with big cats, Vivian, and that's what is present for me. But enough about that, and let's get to the amazing people we have here on today's Real Raw.
You mean we're going to have a tiger queen coming into the scene? I love tiger queen.
Well, that's so funny. She's been saying that she wants to be the next Steve Irwin since she was like born. And Vivian's here every day. If you're not here every day, I don't talk about my children much, if at all. I steer away from that. For them, every personal development event, and they start asking to think and feel and step into a place and a space that is just special and magical and that you're grateful for, privileged to have. And I can start having tears any second. I think of my daughter, Courtney, at 4 years old, jumping off a dive boat in Grand Cayman as I was coming up from scuba diving. And she was like free diving down, let's say 10, 12 feet in her little yellow bikini, little yellow mask, and waving just in the middle of the ocean by herself. And that's her. And so she loves animals, loves nature. And final on that, when she was 10 years old, she was getting her final certification dive to become a certified scuba diver. And the dive master's like, Sean, there's like, a bunch of sharks out and it should be pretty cool to see them. I'm like, shh. I'm like, don't tell Courtney. I don't want to get freaked out. It's her last dive. And a couple minutes later, we're like ready to go in. She's like, Dad, I'm super psyched to see the sharks. And that was like the final thing she said. As she went in, and during the dive, we saw 4 sharks, and she was trying to pet them. And yes, so Tiger Queen, Steve Irwin, Nis, Croc Hunter Nis is in the air. So thank you, Vivian, and let's rock and roll.
Yes, well, we have Amy Burton in the house today. She's from South Carolina, and she feels that her team are business warriors who do hair and not the other way around, because you see, she has a hair salon that she owns, but she's also an author, a real estate investor, a speaker, and a Jack Canfield certified trainer and coach. And her salon is not just any salon. It's Revel Salon and Color Studio with 19 employees located in Lake Wiley, South Carolina. And get this, she rakes in over $1.2 million a year. And some employees make over $100K in just a 32-hour work week. Her grand vision, though, now is to create a wellness center focusing on natural healing. And she's a board member of Rise Together International, a nonprofit that brings home and healing to impoverished families in Iquitos, Peru. So welcome, Amy Burton.
Amy, dropping the mic with some amazingness, and welcome. And I'm always impressed by everything that you're up to in the world, Amy. So thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, Sean. I'm great. Doing really, really well. Excited to be here. Up for the challenge.
Oh, my goodness. It's so good for you to be here. And, by the way, how about a fun fact?
Oh, fun fact. I think I sent this in, Vivian. Fun fact is I can handle power tools probably as well, if not better than most men. I'm married to...
I will make you...
Amy,
I will make you one giant bet. And this bet is this. I guarantee you that you can handle every single power tool in the world better than me. That I would guarantee you. So, it is awesome. And welcome, Amy. So really cool. Vivian.
And Gloria Estefan is her doppelganger. That's what I heard.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. And Amy's going to like rock this thing with who as a participant?
With Pete Dawson. He's a passionate, loyal believer of TKE, Tau Kappa Epsilon, the fraternity, that is. He's also ensorcelled. He spends his free time serving. He served as chapter advisor, province advisor, and grand province advisor. Prior to joining the professional staff, he served for many years as a volunteer for the fraternity. His mission has been to help struggling chapters develop new colonies and to charter new chapters. And he's the recipient of the TKE Key Leader Award. He's so proud to be the donor to the TKE Educational Foundation. So welcome, Pete.
Thank you for having me here.
How are you?
Very, very, very good today. I'm excited to be here. Fernando invited me to this. Didn't really know very much about it, but really, happy to see all your smiling faces and then be here with everybody today.
Yeah, and Pete, here's the key question for today. Aside from the statement of gratitude and thank you for being here, is we want to know, what was Fernando like in college? And we want a complete dossier on all of his college antics. So if you could help us uncover those dynamics, Pete, we'd be very grateful.
Do you not know about the NDA he made me sign before this?
Awesome. All right. So we have, Vivi, we have secret handshakes. We have like hair salon entrepreneurs and success queens, like craziness. And Pete, how about a fun fact?
Fun fact. I spent about 10, 15 years working in architecture and project management, and had another career before I put that on hold to do some work with Teak. I had been volunteering for a really long time and just said, it's time to go all in. So I can kind of quit my day job and do this for 2 years. That was a decade ago. So I'm currently in the 10th of my 2-year commitment with Teak.
Well, congratulations on making an intentional decision and one full of contribution and heart-centeredness. And Pete, it's a pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Vivian?
I'm gonna tell you that we have
judges.
We have judges, but I know that we have Mr. Orange in the house who's wearing crimson today. And he's Mr. Orange and CEO of Lois Clark. He's our role player. He's a serial entrepreneur for over 50 years. He started, created, and sold multinational electronic service companies, producing hundreds of millions of dollars. He's also a business coach and aims to help entrepreneurs like himself live their best lives by pulling all the knowledge he's accrued in the past 25 years in the personal development world to get you there. So wherever you are, come out and speak your piece, Mr. Frank Clark.
Hey,
Vivian is on fire today. What's up, Frank?
What up, Sean? Vivian, that has to be the fastest speed reading I think I've ever heard in my life.
The ginger shot.
That was cool. So thanks for having me here. Yeah, I love the whole orange energy, and normally I'm wearing orange, but today, a little fun fact about me is I happen to be fraternity member number 199, the Mu Epsilon chapter of UMass, TKE fraternity brother.
Whoa!
And a little fun fact about our fraternity, we were kind of the rebels on campus. And there was only 2 times in the history of the city that our house, that the riot squad was called out. One was to break up the headquarters of the Hells Angels, which was in Lowell, Massachusetts. And then the second time was to break up a TKE fraternity party that I was the bar chairman of.
Pete Dawson does not approve of that message at all.
Why does this not shock me in any way, shape,
That was
or
just
form?
half the story, Sean. He started the fight.
Hey, somebody's got to, right?
Well,
Got a little crowded in that house, needless to say.
Truly amazing. Pete, Frank, I think that we need a Facebook Live of you guys hanging out on a Friday night, maybe in like South Boston. And I'd like to see that. So Frank Clark, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Orange, welcome. Vivian, we have judges. We have fraternity fights. We have secret handshakes. We have women entrepreneurs. We have more amazing people.
Oh, yeah, we have other women entrepreneurs. We have Danielle Jones, who's in from Tampa, Florida. She's a certified nutritionist and wellness strategist. She works to keep business professionals in shape, and she dares you to take a nutritious journey with her, for she believes you can have your red velvet cake and eat it too. Welcome, Danielle.
Hello, I'm happy to be here.
Danielle, welcome. So, coming from Florida, what's happening? What's a fun fact, Danielle?
Ooh, fun fact is I was a nomad for 8 months before I decided to live here in Florida. So I traveled all over the U.S. until I decided to move here.
Oh my goodness. What was like one moment that was like really magical and awesome as you traveled about the U.S.?
Ooh, magical. I guess all the moments I was with my friends was magical.
And then and then COVID hit and you got trapped in Tampa. That's the
That's
part
what
you didn't
happened.
say.
That's exactly what happened.
Amazing. All right, Vivian. But wait, there's more.
There is. We have Keith Day from Hawthorne, New Jersey. He's the owner of Pro Seal, a New Jersey premier hardscape restoration company that provides exterior cleaning services from power washing to masonry and clay roofing. And Keith is a mastery student. So welcome, Keith.
Thank you. Thank
Keith,
you.
how are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I am doing wonderfully. And how about a fun fact, Keith?
I'm going to go with an easy one for me. Just my fun fact is I'm the baby of 6 kids. I'm one of 28 when we get together on holidays. So big family boy, you know.
Beautiful. And Keith, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in New Milford. In Burton County.
Oh, New Milford Knight. A New Milford Knight is in the house.
Right.
Very cool. Vivian? Yeah. I'm sorry, we'll go to Keith. What'd you say?
I said the few and the proud. The nice. Love it.
Yeah. So can I give a not fun fact, Vivian and Keith and everyone?
Mm-hmm.
I broke my ankle on the New Milford Knights football field.
That's not fun.
So, no, that was not fun at all, Vivian. So Ralph Orta, who was going to the University of Maryland, where my son now goes, was a sweep to my side, and Ralph was a Division I recruit, and he cut blocked me as the running back cut back. The ref didn't call the penalty. I broke my ankle, and it was the game scrimmage before the season started, and I missed my entire junior year, Vivian. So that is my New Milford Knights story. But we had many successful days against the Knights and other times. Yes, Vivian.
I have twisted my ankle a couple of times. I've worn boots twice, and that ankle is still a problem. So to hear breaking just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yes, it was not fun. It was not fun. But Keith, welcome. We have Knights, fraternity people, women entrepreneurs, craziness in the building, and finally we have Adam Gugino.
Adam Gugino. He's our Chief Revenue Officer at Unblinded, and he's lost 20 pounds plus because he's been dieting. And that's just because he's so razor sharp at everything that he does. Even the water fast that he does, he'll start all over again because he missed a few sips after he did a 30-day challenge. I know I'm taking all your fun facts today, but just to know the brain of this Zeus Energy Adam, who went ahead and started a company before he was at Unblinded in a 450-foot square warehouse with a 0 team to 500. From 4 million, he rose the company to over 750 million, walked away from millions of dollars to come here to proselytize how the formula should be global. So thank you and welcome, Adam, for being here.
Adam Gugino, love you, brother. What's up, man?
Love you. Thank you so much for being here. So excited. Yes, you took the fun fact, but it was not so much a water fast, but a 75-day challenge that I did have to start over. I will piggyback off Sean's fun fact. When I was in elementary school, my mom, I always wanted to play football. And I never told you this again, Sean. I keep coming up with these new fun facts, difficult. And I always wanted to play football. My mom was like, no, never let me play. Finally, there was one year where the team was short. They needed one more person. So I was like, Mom, please, I want to be the hero. And I signed up. She never wanted me to play because she always thought I would get hurt. And sure enough, the first game of the year, a fullback comes running full speed. I don't see him, Sean. The hole opens up. I think I'm about to make the tackle. Somebody blindsides me, hits me in the arm. I break my arm the first game of the year. And I had to go. Yeah.
And that was the end of Adam Gugino's NFL career, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen.
it was. The fun fact is, though, I did come back 2 weeks later, heart and soul, with a cast and a big pad on my arm, and I got approval, and I played the rest of the season still with that broken arm.
That's why Adam Gugino is a straight up warrior. That's why we're unlocking Influence as a Superpower. We have like gladiators with casts on their arm, breaking up fights in South Boston with secret handshakes and making entrepreneurship happen everywhere. Plus Vivian bringing energy all over the place. Only on The Real Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Vivian, this is fun. Thank you. And you're amazing.
Love you. Love you.
Love you all. Thank you. Frank, what's up? You ready, brother?
I'm ready. Hey, I just one quick question. I wanted to see if Adam Gugino's pickleball career started after he messed up in football.
Years and years. It took about 30 years.
And I don't,
30 years to get
Frank,
back.
I don't even want to get into. I don't want to even get into the fact that Adam and Ken had a losing record in doubles last night. We'll come back to that at some other time.
Okay.
I want to learn more. So yes. All right. Pete, where are you physically in the world today?
I am in East Islip, New York on Long Island.
Okay. So Amy is from further away. So Amy, I either have a 1 or a 2 up right now in the car, and the unstoppable John Kelly, who's driving this amazing vehicle as we head back from New Hampshire, is here to verify and certify the number of fingers I have up, and I will not change them. I never do. They're up, and is it a 1 or a 2?
It's a 2.
It is a 2. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, verified by John Kelly. So would you like to go first or second, Amy?
I'm going to go second. I'm going to let Pete go first.
Nice. So Pete, here's how it works, and thank you for being here. This is going to be a 6-minute conversation cut in half. Halfway through, I'm going to be like, Frank, you have a quick phone call. He's like, all right, I got to grab this. Pete, be right back. And so the first 3, and what the conversation is all about is going from hello to yes. Because this entire show, The Real Raw, everything we're doing at Unblinded, is about how influencers influence influencers to come together, to merge ecosystems, to make the world a even greater place. It's like leadership, sales, marketing, acceleration. It's the creation of businesses, the end of businesses, the creation of like breakthroughs and justice and truth. All of those things are on the other side of integrous yes influence. And by the way, the defeat of non-integrous influence. So all we're unlocking is how do you do that? And getting some feedback and going through those processes. You know, I've had the privilege of speaking on huge stages, having top 100 national jury verdicts, going through mock trial processes, and seeing how the smallest micro distinctions and innovations can create extraordinary differentials in how information is sent from one human to another, accepted and acted upon, right? So we're playing with here. And it's not like magic, but it looks like magic when it works, but it's advanced science. So for you 5 contestants, you Pete, you Amy, the question very simply is, what is an important yes to you in the world? And who would you like Frank Clark to be? He could be any avatar. He could be somebody from like a chapter or a university who you need a yes from. It could be somebody that's an ideal sales meeting or strategic partner or investor or somebody making a donation. Anything that matters to you. It could even be the president. It's like you want to change policy for the U.S. and get a yes. We've even had that on The Real Raw. Most people choose something in their business, right, the primary day-to-day work. Doesn't have to be. So with all of that said, Pete, who would you like Frank to be?
So something we've been working for the last couple of years is we're in the midst of a $10 million commitment to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So I'm thinking we'll make Frank a potential donor. Probably don't want to get too crazy here. Maybe, I don't know if we want to put an amount on that or anything like that. It'd be more fun for y'all.
Yeah, it could be anything. And so just, you don't have to tell us. So just Frank is a potential donor. Would you like him to have any specific background or be from any specific place or just be a general donor?
Let's go with alumnus and entrepreneur. I think that works just fine. We don't have to get
awesome.
Don't have to role play too deep there, Frank.
Yeah, fun. And so, Pete, we're going to launch in a sec. Judges, what we're focused on this round 1 is the depth of connection that Pete and Amy create. And the second round we're focused on is how they convey their heroic, unique identity, what they're up to, what the unique identity of the project and the yes. So round 1 is all that depth of connection and putting something at stake. Because we make decisions when we have something at stake. We don't make decisions for benefits. We don't make decisions because somebody else wants us to do something. We'll make decisions because something for us is at stake. So round one's about depth of connection, putting something at stake. It's totally okay if we don't know what that means. Just do it like you normally do it. And then we'll assess how that depth of connection and put something at stake impacted the outcome of each round. Okay, so Pete, in our hearts, not in our head, are you ready?
I think I am.
All right, great. 3 minutes. You'll hear me say 30 seconds to go with 30 seconds to go. Please take us in, Pete.
Frank, how are you? It's,
Good, Pete. How are you?
doing pretty well. I know you have some affinity for the fraternity. Why don't you quick overview of your experience?
I thought it was amazing. I mean, it got me involved in the university heavily. It certainly got me involved with a lot of new friends. I wouldn't say that I was a really shy kid, but I went to an all-guy high school, and so indoctrination into a big college like that was good to have a group of guys that I could associate with.
How do you think the fraternity experience helped you as you became an alumnus and moved into the business world?
I would say, the role that I had in the fraternity, I was Epi Preakness, which is vice president, and I ran a few of the committees there. I think it absolutely helped me in understanding human dynamics and getting to yes and organizing probably the wildest bunch of guys you could imagine to put something together. We did fundraisers ourselves in the university where we had our own house, so managing a household of almost 40 guys was quite a challenge as well.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's interesting. As I've watched this thing evolve and as I've gotten more involved as a volunteer, the stories of how people grow and develop from the organization and from having those introductions and those experiences meeting other people don't seem to change. That seems to be something consistent in all of our members. So good to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Early age, you're 19, 20 years old, 18 years old, and you get thrusted into, having to organize things and get other people to fall in line.
Absolutely.
Great.
Something we've been heavily focused on in the last, at least the last decade, possibly when you were there as well, has been St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Are you familiar with that at all?
Am I familiar with St. Jude's?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm from Massachusetts, and the Red Sox are big contributors to St. Jude's.
Excellent. So we've been working toward a $10 million commitment to the hospital. We've done 2 other commitments. We named 2 different facilities at the hospital already. We did a $1 million commitment, and then we did a 6-year $2.6 million commitment that we knocked out in 3 years. So this 10-year commitment, we're looking to hit it pretty aggressively and finish up pretty early. Our collegiate members have been phenomenal.
30 seconds to go.
And I'm wondering, as an alum, if we could get your support, if you might have some interest and some means in helping this cause financially.
Well, Pete, I'm involved in a lot of causes. As an entrepreneur, I get hit up all the time to contribute to different things. And I know of St. Jude's just basically on the peripheral. I don't really know too much about it. I know it does great things. It's been around in Massachusetts for a long time. But I'd like to learn more about it. I just, give you a full commitment. I certainly would elicit the response from all the fraternity brothers as well, given that we're the largest in the country.
Sure.
Frank, you got to grab a quick call, and you can bounce right back to Pete in a couple of moments.
All right. Yeah, sorry, I got to grab this call. Can I get back to you, buddy?
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Excellent. All right, Pete, how'd that feel for you?
Felt pretty good. Felt pretty natural.
Yeah, cool. All right, Frank, what would you assess depth of connection at, scale 1 to 10?
I'd say depth of connection was probably a 7. It was conversational. It was nice. It was, it was gentle. It was easy, but there wasn't a lot of depth really into my ability to donate or wanting to donate.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right, Amy, are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure that is quite ready. And who would you like Frank to be?
I would like Frank to be Frank.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. 3 minutes. Take us in.
So, Frank, tell me a little bit about yourself. I heard you say earlier that you work out and Vivian said that you're a life coach. Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, I do a little of everything. I like to exercise and work out every day. If I can, keep myself in shape. I do a lot of life coaching and business coaching. I help people, specifically those that are in the second chapter of their life. I tend to do better with, people that consider themselves at a midlife crisis. I look at it as a midlife opportunity moment in their life. And I have had some major adjustment. Either the kids have moved away or they've had to change jobs or divorce or a loss in the family. And I can relate really well with that. So I like that type of client, and I like working to help people accelerate.
Awesome. That's excellent. Well, you are the person I need to speak to today. I have to ask you, in all the coaching that you do, what would you say the average length of time is before you really see breakthroughs with your clients? How many sessions?
I would say that I start to see breakthroughs probably after the second or third, depending on the level of the commitment of the person that's participating. It really boils down to their desire to do it. I've been involved with people that have been in, drug and alcohol rehab, and sometimes it takes 3, 4, 5 times into a rehab facility before somebody actually commits and gets the results that they're looking for. So I think it's a mutual thing that, if somebody's willing, you can get breakthroughs right away.
Yeah, I work with a lot of coaches, and what we find is that so many coaches struggle with trying to get those breakthroughs faster. And I'm actually trained in it's a tool. It's called Regenerating Images in Memory. And I would love to talk to you about that more. It really dials down what's important on the subconscious level, full brain experience, not hypnotism. It is kind of a form of meditation, but it's completely client-led. And what's so amazing about it is the transformation. So let me ask you a question. In your business, are you more focused on the money or the mission?
Oh, absolutely, the mission, 100%.
That's excellent, excellent. And
Frank, 20 seconds to go.
Oh, hey, Amy, sorry, I got to bounce in a minute. I got to go pick up my kids. Can we continue this some other time?
Absolutely. I would love to talk to you further. I think you're a great guy. You're doing wonderful work, and I think I can help you make that even better.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Amy, how'd that feel for you?
It felt pretty good. I feel it's tough, when you're in a time crunch and you're trying to get everything out, but I think it felt pretty good. My goal was to really find out who Frank was and what was important to him.
Yeah, awesome. Frank, depth of connection.
Depth of connection, I would say an 8.5. She was more inquisitive about me and what my role was and what my goals were. Took a very personal interest in me, probably even close to a 9, actually, I'd say, depth of connection.
Cool. Great job, Amy. Great job, Pete. Let's see what our judges have to say about how rapport was being created and something was being put at stake. Danielle, what do you have, please?
Is this for Amy?
Yes, let's start with Amy, and then we'll go Pete. And about 30 to 40 seconds of feedback. So with like 5 seconds to go, I'll just say 5 seconds to go, and then a score, please, on a scale 1 to 10. Thank you. Danielle?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So for Pete, I got for his the same. I feel like his depth of connection was good. I feel like he was really working to get to know him, and I guess for me, I probably would want to know a little bit more. But for him, I think he did a good job with Frank. And for Amy as well, I think Amy did a great job on getting to know him and being able to speak back to what he was actually, what he does, so that she could actually bring the sale back. I don't know if you guys can.
The scores? Hey, Danielle, what would you have as a score on a 1 to 10?
On a 1 to 10 for Pete, I would give Pete a 7. And for Amy, I think Amy did a great job as well. I would give Amy an 8.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Danielle. And Keith, how about you? So let's start off first with Mr. Pete Dawson and then continue with Miss Amy Burton.
I think Pete, did a pretty good job. I feel like he could have probably gone a little deeper into a connection with them. I feel like there was a lot there with the fraternity and the questions, and could have definitely. I think he got a little too quick into the charity. Definitely could have developed rapport a little bit better, and I feel like he's also maybe a little bit lower on the energy side. But he asked some good questions and did a pretty good job there. Amy. Yeah, I think was really good energy, connected, asked really nice open-ended questions. I really liked the money or the mission question. That was really nice. It was a really powerful question. Really nice job. Scores, Pete, I give him like a 6.2. No decimal in there. And Amy, I feel like she did maybe like an 8.5.
Excellent. Keith, great job. Adam Gugino, what do you have for Pete?
Yeah, I'm going to say that Pete, I liked right out of the gate bringing Frank back to his days in the fraternity. So really getting him reconnected there. I think that was a great question. I also did like his acknowledgments. He did a good job acknowledging where Frank was and some of those things. I would have definitely liked more variance of energy, just like Keith had mentioned. And more depth of connection. What I would ask you, Sean, and I'm going to give a score, maybe you can answer now or answer later. We've had a couple of people come on looking for a donation. I'm curious on your thoughts on putting something at stake for a donation, because there wasn't really anything put at stake. I'm not really sure how to do that, but we'll leave that aside for you. Overall score, I would give Pete a 7. And with Amy, I think Amy's energy was great. I also loved the same thing, Keith. I love the question, money or mission, really getting to the heart. Sequencing is key for me. And I was just a little bit off with starting to really get into the benefits of what she had before really getting to know Frank and getting to know his needs. I didn't see a really connecting to putting anything at stake, but there was a good emotional rapport. There was some good emotional rapport. So overall, I would give Amy an 8.5.
Beautiful. And we're going to drop in on how we put something at stake in charitable scenarios in a little bit. But let's drop into round 2 for now. So great job, judges. Great job, participants. And by the way, thank you guys for your courage, your vulnerability, your sharing, because the breakthroughs, the things that people see, learn, get from these conversations are truly extraordinary. And you're co-creating that. So thank you. Pete, in round 2, would you like to go first or second?
Second.
Okay. Amy, are you ready to rock and roll in round 2, where you're continuing from where you took off and judges were assessing the quality of how Amy conveys who she is and what her solution is and how magnetically Frank is drawn to it, and ultimately the quality of the yes and handling any objections in between. Amy, you have 3 minutes. Go.
Ready. Hey, Frank, it's good to see you again.
Likewise, Amy. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what you do and what your focus is and your mission with your clients. I know you mentioned that you work with more middle-aged people who are going through different things. What's your biggest challenge with them?
I think my biggest challenge with anybody is getting them to stay consistent and persistent with what they want. I think everybody has a particular goal or a life goal or a request for something that they want to achieve. But the consistency, the accountability, the persistence of that is, always varies depending on has a big enough purpose and a big enough why to get it done.
I totally understand that. I find that with my team that, keeping them focused, keeping them on track, really keeping them motivated is the toughest thing. I'll tell you a little story. In my own business, I got to a crossroads. I was at a point in my life where I was really, really struggling. And I changed myself. I changed my life and got into the whole self-development field and did a lot of training. But the biggest impact that I found was this regenerating images and memory. And what this does is it's a whole brain experience. It takes the creative imagination and we dive very deep on a subconscious level. And the most effective way to facilitate this transformational tool is to work with coaches. And we have found that when a RIM facilitator works alongside a coach, we're able to unblock deep-seated emotional trauma sometimes that people aren't even aware of. And after one session, they find more healing than most people get in 10 years of traditional talk therapy. So I would love to talk to you about that more, how we can partner. I would love to offer you a complimentary session and so you can see for yourself, because it really is amazing. I found out things about myself that I never knew were there. And days after a session, my productivity was up, my energy was up. I've had CEOs of companies. I've got one client in Morocco. She said, my gosh, you have done more for me than anyone has done for me in years. And it's really an awesome compliment to coaching. And I would love to talk to you about that more. Is that something that you may be interested in experiencing?
Well,
30 seconds to go.
Yeah, as an NLP practitioner, I'm always looking for different ways to do things. And I don't believe that I can be hypnotized. So if that's a part of it, I'm more intrigued about just, going through the experience. And I would love the complimentary.
Awesome. I'd love to connect with you.
Very nice. Thanks, Amy. Let's set that up.
All right. Excellent work, Amy. How'd that feel for you?
It felt pretty good. I mean, these things are stressful, but it felt pretty good. I feel like if I was face to face with him, I could with a cup of coffee, have a deeper conversation. But for what it is, I think I did okay. Being a rookie here on the real world.
No, you're doing a great job. But like remembering, because that is not an uncommon moment. It's like, well, if I was face to face and had a longer meeting and, it was kind of like this, true. And there's a whole bunch of times and a whole bunch of places with the most extraordinary opportunities we have minutes where we encounter somebody that might be an incredible ecosystem merger possibility, where we are talking to somebody that we meet, in a moment. And how do we, as Malcolm Gladwell talks about in Blink, how do we have people in the split seconds of decision-making decide that there's something really here, that we are congruently unique, so people become curious? And I think like, wow, like who's that? Like what's happening? Yeah, like, and how do we do that in a minute, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, and 6 minutes, lovingly, can be an eternity. Like worlds can change in 6 minutes. I've had the unique privilege of standing up in front of a judge and having 3 minutes to change a decision that would have cost my client tens of millions of dollars. And what do you do to buy another minute? What do you do to buy 3 more minutes? Like, what is that science? That's what we're here to check out. So great job, Amy. Pete, are you ready for round 2?
Thank you.
Yeah, great. Yep. Pete, are you ready?
He's currently muted, brother. There we go. He's about to unmute. Pete, over to you.
I haven't been on Zoom for the last 3 months like everybody else.
Great job, Pete. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. 3 minutes. Take us in. Frank is back.
Hey, Frank, I know we got cut a little bit short the last time we spoke. It's good to talk again.
Likewise, Pete. Nice to hear from you.
I'd love to hear a little bit more about what you've been up to and kind of, how your business has evolved and what you're doing now.
Well, my electronics business is multinational. I've had it for 35 years. I also bought and sold 4 other electronics companies, and I've always enjoyed coaching. I mean, when you run a company, you're kind of in that space anyways. You're the husband, you're the wife, you're the therapist, you're the you have all those roles when you're a CEO. So I've always enjoyed coaching. I've always enjoyed helping people get the better part of life and the best out of it. And so a couple of years ago, I decided that would be another source of income for me, and that I would go out and try to help as many people, thousands of people as I can, and teach them how to have drive and stay consistent and feel significant and understand that contribution is the way to success. And so I've been very involved in all that the last couple of years.
What's the youngest demographic that you've worked to on the coaching side? I know you've done some stuff with middle-aged. Have you done younger groups as well?
I've worked individually with 18, 19-year-olds, early 20s, time to time.
Something that I found myself interested in as an advisor, and it's something that led, my own involvement back into the fraternity was coaching and mentoring college-age students. And I know I mentioned the St. Jude connection the last time that we spoke. Something that we've seen since everybody went virtual is that our groups have really doubled down on that. We had a chapter in Houston, raised $50,000 for St. Jude last year. A group at Merrimack College, pretty close to Lowell, did $20,000 this year, $2,000 when they were all in person. And then our group down at Virginia Tech is consistently raising $250,000 a year. But we're looking to expand that. We're looking to get some more students involved and motivated. And I'm wondering if there's more value, and I don't know if you'd be interested in doing this on a volunteer basis on occasion, but there might be a lot more value in you actually speaking to a group and mentoring a group a bit to get them motivated to get out and do some work. Because it's incredible
30 seconds.
The reaction
30 seconds to go
from our groups when they actually, when they set a goal and hit it. And I'm wondering if that's something that you might be a bit more interested in, is just doing a quick remote session with one of our groups.
I would love to do that. I get together with my own chapter from time to time via Zoom. And, there's probably 10 to 20 of us on the call every time. And I would love to do that. I've spoken at UNH, as a matter of fact, in my daughter's business classes. So I love speaking to students, and I love speaking to people in that age group. Yeah, love that for you.
All right, that'd be great. We'll set that up for sure.
Okay. Great, Pete. Yours in the bond, brother. When's the Red Carnation Ball happening?
We'll get that on the calendar. I'll get you an invite for sure.
All right, guys. That's awesome. Pete, great job. Pete, how'd that feel for you?
A bit better. I think in the first session, I was not quite sure of how this all worked. And I had set that, I set a goal for myself, and then just when I realized I had 30 seconds left, hastily ran for it. And, just in the interest of full disclosure, I never actually solicit donations. I'm usually, building volunteers and mentors and trying to get people to come in and work with our groups. So it's a much more natural place to be. So I felt a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, awesome. Great job. Let's see what the fine judges have to say. So Danielle, what do you have for Amy?
Amy, I think you did a great job speaking to kind of his passion. So I really like that, and kind of really like wrapping it up and saying, hey, let's kind of get together. So I really like that. So Amy, I do give you an 8 on that. And Pete, I really did like how your tone improved. You could tell you were a lot more comfortable as well with this one. And I love also how you spoke to his passion, what he really is into, and really bringing him in to do something that he loves, which you can tell his tone changed because of how much he was really into it. So I give you an 8 as well.
Excellent. Keith.
I'll start with Pete. I think you did a nice job jumping right back into rapport with Frank. You did a good job. I feel like it was probably, and I feel like during that you kind of transitioned away from the charity thing and donating and went more towards what you were hearing with him coaching and how you pivoted it towards, how why don't you start, teaching, you can mentor some kids. And I think that was a really nice transition, and the way you kind of adapted in the conversation to do that. I think that was really nicely done. With Amy, you did, again, you had really nice energy. You did a really good job, jumping into, rapport again, and you asked about his challenges, and you did a really good job jumping right into your HUI. When your unique heroic identity, and when you talked about how you had immediate results, one session, and it was the best healing they'd ever had, and you just did a really nice job kind of showing your uniqueness in that sense. And you also offered the nice free piece of chicken with the free consult. Hey, come on in, and it's a nice, great opportunity for you to get right back in there with him again. So I think you did a really nice job. Scores, I'll start with Amy. I'll give you another 8. I'll give you a little higher this time. I'll give you an 8.9. And Pete, I think you did much, much better. I'll give you a 7.9.
Awesome job, Keith. Adam Gugino.
So I will, we had a comeback player of the year yesterday. I want to give that to Pete for today, for sure. Definitely of the week. Again, I love the words that were used: transition, pivot, just the level 5 listening, understanding. I know it was your comfort zone, Pete, but the way that you smoothly went into that, I think was perfect. You went to his heart, and I loved what you did there. I would have liked a little bit more about, I would have liked to answer the question about the charity in some way, something impactful. He did ask that question in the first round, and he never really got that answer. I would have liked something, because that would have been, I think, the icing on the cake for me. Overall, I would say bump you up to a 9.0. So I think that was great. And with Amy, incredible certainty. Clearly, once again, your energy was there. I like the way you started with the question. The one thing I think you really missed was your own heroic, unique identity, like your salon. I know, what you've done. I know you're saying those are 2 separate businesses, but I think the credibility that you come from, and then now for you to be already successful in your life and to be finding this, I think is an incredible parallel, and definitely should be used in that scenario. I did like the ask again, like we said here. It landed perfectly. So overall, I would say 8.5.
Excellent. So great job, judges. Great job, Pete, Amy. The question was asked by Adam. Great question. What does it look like putting something at stake when it relates to charity? So Amy, would you do the honor of role-playing a little bit with me, where you are an alumnus at a university, and I'll jump in and play that role with Pete for a moment. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, so you just want me to sit and watch, right? That's what you're asking?
No, you're gonna actually be the role player. So you're gonna be like, I'm gonna be soliciting you, going from hello to yes with you as it relates to.
As if I were Frank.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
All right. Thank you. All right. So, hey, Amy, thanks so much for taking my call. I know it's a busy and crazy time in the world. Like, how are you doing with everything that's going on?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am doing great. It's a little crazy, at our fraternities around the country. A lot of different dynamics, concerned, universities are concerned. Obviously, the fraternity system is concerned with what's going to go on in terms of people socializing, living, parties, etc. It's an unprecedented time in the world, as I'm sure it is in your business. Yes.
Absolutely.
So again, thanks so much for taking my call. And just a quick check-in. You graduated how long ago?
1981.
Amazing. And you're still involved in the alumni system, which we appreciate enormously. What did that experience mean to you, and how does it show up today in your life and world?
Well, I think being involved, it brings back memories of what it was like and how the world has evolved. And each generation, we have new challenges and new things that we're facing. And I think it's up to the generation before to really be there to mentor them and bring them up and bring them along.
Awesome. I appreciate that. And I know that you're up to some really unique things. I know that you do coaching. You sit in the space of Jack Canfield. You have a really uniquely successful, business in the hair salon world. like, why do you keep doing all this? Like, what drives you for more? Because it's clearly present, but what's your mission all about?
You know, if I could say it in one sentence, Sean, my mission is to inspire people to open their hearts, to renew their minds, and to set their souls on fire. That's it.
Renew their heart, open their minds, and set their souls on fire. Do I have that right?
Open their hearts, renew their minds,
Renew their minds,
and set their souls on fire.
and set their souls on fire. That's extraordinary. And I am not confused that you must have very intentionally thought that through and established that for yourself.
Yes, that was my whole goal in opening my business, my salon.
Awesome. So, with that said, as you look at life and, contribution and impact, which I know you're having a lot, like, what role does your contribution have to you? Like, where's that sort of positioned in this hierarchy? And I know you contribute in a lot of different ways in your life, but where does contribution play a role in people setting themselves on fire and you're giving to the world?
Well, I think it's a necessary part. I mean, I'm at that stage in my life where I'm able to give more, and I not only give of my time, my service, but I'm able to donate financially a lot more than I could at one time. And I think that that's very important. It's important to me to leave a legacy and to make an impact. I believe we all have a secret power that resides within, and we need to unleash that. Everyone has a frightened child inside of them and a mighty warrior. And I really want to see the mighty warrior come out. So anything I can do to help.
Yeah. Amy, in the last 30 seconds we have, because I want to honor the time commitment that we made, I just want to share with you that I have these conversations with a lot of different folks. This is one of the most unique and extraordinary in terms of your choice of language. Like, your language vibrates with energy. And I'm inspired, and I'm really grateful for this call today. So I just want to acknowledge you in that way.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it'd be okay if I say in this last 15 seconds, just shared a little bit about what's happening, and to see if it would be worth your time to have a little bit longer call.
Absolutely. I would love to hear more.
Yeah. So, contribution obviously plays a huge role in your life. It did when you were in the fraternity, and it still does. And we've really carefully selected an initiative for this year, and it has to do with children. I'm sure you've heard of St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And I'm not just calling you to say, hey, please make a donation. What I'd love to have a conversation about, donations would very much be appreciated, but how you might satisfy some of your, I'm sure, extraordinary, already extraordinary contribution elements of your life, and how if there's any room for something more. And I'd love to have 15 minutes of your time, if that would be okay with you, to talk about what that might look like, because we need help. And we need help in a lot of different ways. But help is for St. Jude's and for children. And I don't know, how would you feel about a 15-minute conversation to explore that?
I would love that, Sean.
Okay. So, Amy, let's out of roll. How did that feel for you, that conversation?
It felt good. Felt good.
Yeah. All right. Did you feel connected? The idea of putting something at stake is people feeling connected to who they are and how this might relate to who they are. So if we throw benefits, so first of all, if we're we need this, people are just not engaged. Okay, great, you need that, wonderful, right? Or somebody else needs it. If it's hey, and this might be interesting for you in this way, that's better. But even better, and again, this is Adam in service of putting something at stake, that answer. Better is having people walk through their life journey and really experience and become present to that element of themselves that's relevant. So Amy, when we're going through that discussion, your mission was stated. And I heard you and your mission being stated. And so how, like, thinking through the conversation, did it, like, what would your interest level have been if I called up and simply explained we have an initiative for donation, would you like to make a donation, versus your interest in this subsequent conversation? How would you contrast those two?
Yeah, I get asked for donations all the time. It has to connect with me before I'll open my wallet.
Right. But I think this is the thing. It's not even about opening your wallet as much as becoming invested and then figuring out how to satisfy your desire to be invested and contribute. Like, do you feel that distinction? Does that make some sense or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Frank, thoughts? Frank Clark.
Yeah, one of the things that I felt drew Pete closer to me about a possible donation was asking me to be involved in helping the cause for St. Jude's and getting other people to elicit donations. It made me more engaged with the cause. And the more I was engaged with the cause, the more I felt it would almost be a fait accompli. Okay, yeah, of course I'm going to donate money. I'm involved with you now. I'm a partner with you. It brought me in.
Yeah. And I would say the unique distinction that I really want to leave, and I know we're a couple minutes over, and thank you everybody for that time, is any yes that's going to happen in the world is all about how it fits into the story, the paradigm, the reality of the other person. That's all it's ever about, right? Our needs, even the needs of people, like if you think about how people raise amazing amounts of money for causes, there's elements of people's significance, connection, opportunity for growth. Like, we make decisions, even decisions that seem otherwise selfless, out of satisfying emotional needs inside of us. And that's what putting something at stake is all about, right? So, Pete, I don't know, any final thoughts on that? How did that feel for you?
It felt a lot more natural. I really I like the idea of engaging someone at a much deeper level, and just letting them come to the decision of ultimately deciding to contribute financially or contribute time or whatever works for them.
Oh, awesome. And how was today for you? And thank you so much for your time. How'd you feel about the Real Raw?
It was exciting. It was interesting. I like what you're doing.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Amy, how about yourself? Thank you. And how was today for you?
It was great. It was a really good experience. I hadn't done this before, and I didn't really know what to expect, but I thought it was really good. Learned a lot.
Well, thank you.
Really enjoyed it.
Well, you did a great job. And Danielle, thank you. And how was your experience judging?
It was really good. Like, I wasn't sure what to expect. So it was really good to see them be very, like, vulnerable and open to the coaching. So congrats to both of you for doing that and being open for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Danielle. Keith, thank you, brother. Any takeaways from today for you?
I guess just, I just really appreciate the two of them kind of putting themselves out here and doing this. And my takeaway is to maybe try and do the same. That's why I'm here to judge, just get myself out there and grab the mic, grab the stage and go for it. So that was very appreciative.
Amen, Keith. Yeah, great job. Frank, final.
Final on this is I appreciated everybody being here. I think this is a great format to learn, have a stage and a microphone and an opportunity to connect. I just love the whole Real Raw process and everything that we're doing here, Sean. So it's a great opportunity, and I would highly suggest, if you really enjoy it, spread the word. Let people also become part of this experience.
Thank you, Adam Gugino, great job. Frank, awesome job. And Pete, Keith, Danielle, Amy, thank you all. Vivian, amazing launch. Fernando, great job, brother. Everybody, it is Thankful Thursday, and from our hearts is where influence comes. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day.